Max Verstappen's dominance in Formula One is undeniable, but could his influence have played a role in the struggles of his teammate, Sergio Perez? That's the big question that has been making waves in the motorsport world, leaving Perez visibly frustrated. Let's take a closer look at the situation unfolding at Red Bull Racing, especially during the dramatic 2024 season. While Verstappen secured his fourth consecutive world championship, Perez, on the other hand, experienced a sharp decline. Despite starting the season with high hopes and a new contract, his performances fell short of expectations, which caused a massive shift in the team's dynamics. By the end of the season, Perez found himself far behind Verstappen in the standings, not just in points but also in terms of influence within the team. How did Red Bull handle this situation, and why did Perez's performance take such a turn for the worse? As the season progressed, things only got worse for Perez. Despite his early promise and a secure contract, he struggled to maintain competitiveness. In fact, by the time the final standings were revealed, Perez had fallen to 7th place, a distant 285 points behind Verstappen. To put this into perspective, Perez was closer in points to drivers in the midfield than he was to his own teammate. His last podium finish was way back in April, at the Chinese Grand Prix, a result that now seems like a distant memory. Red Bull, a team used to dominating the competition, ended the season with a major shock. They lost the Constructors' Championship to McLaren. This was a huge blow for a team that had been at the top for years. Perez, who was supposed to be an important factor in securing that title, couldn't deliver the results required. McLaren, with their rejuvenated lineup led by Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, capitalized on Red Bull's slip-up, claiming their first Constructors' title in 26 years. For Perez and Red Bull, this was a disastrous turn of events. Following this disappointing season, the fallout for Perez was swift. Despite having signed a new contract only a few months prior, he was informed that he wouldn't be retained for the 2025 season. Instead, Red Bull decided to promote Liam Lawson, their highly rated junior driver, to take Perez's seat. This decision raised a lot of eyebrows and led many to question what had gone wrong for Perez. How could a driver, who had been promised job security just months earlier, fall out of favor so quickly? To understand why this happened, we have to look at the bigger picture. Perez's struggles in 2024 didn't come out of nowhere. By mid-season, it was already clear that he wasn't performing at the level expected from a top-tier team like Red Bull. Despite this, Red Bull decided to keep him on for 2024 rather than pursuing a stronger option like Carlos Sainz, who was available after his exit from Ferrari. The question is, why did Red Bull stick with Perez despite his clear struggles? This is where the influence of Max Verstappen becomes significant. According to insider reports and growing speculation, Verstappen may have played a key role in Red Bull's decision to extend Perez's contract instead of bringing in Carlos Sainz. The theory is that Verstappen, who has firmly established himself as the team's #1 driver, preferred having a teammate he could easily outperform. With Perez struggling to match Verstappen's pace, there was little threat to Verstappen's dominant position within the team. Had Sainz been brought in, the situation could have been very different. Sainz is a proven driver with a reputation for maximizing the performance of the car, and his presence might have posed a challenge to Verstappen. The two drivers had history together from their time at Toro Rosso, where tensions between them were evident. In fact, their rivalry back then led to friction within the team, which ultimately contributed to Verstappen's rise to Red Bull. The history between Verstappen and Sainz goes back to their time as teammates at Toro Rosso during the 2015 and 2016 seasons. It was clear from the start that their relationship wasn't smooth. Verstappen's rapid rise within the team created tension, as both drivers were vying for the same resources and attention. A notable incident during the 2016 Russian Grand Prix highlighted this rivalry. Verstappen allegedly ignored a pre-arranged team order, which led to Sainz being blocked in qualifying and eliminated in Q2 due to traffic. This moment was a turning point, and it further deepened the divide between the two drivers. By the time Verstappen moved up to Red Bull, the rift was irreversible. Fast forward to 2024, and Verstappen's position within Red Bull has only strengthened. As a four-time world champion, his influence on team decisions is undeniable. It's not hard to imagine that Verstappen may have voiced a preference for Perez, a teammate who posed no real threat to his dominance. By choosing to keep Perez, Verstappen helped maintain the balance within Red Bull, ensuring that his own position as the team's undisputed leader remained unchallenged. Perez, while talented, had not been able to put up a real fight for the top spot in the championship standings, which meant Verstappen could continue his dominance in a relatively pressure-free environment. However, this decision came at a cost. Red Bull's failure to secure the Constructors' Championship in 2024 was a blow that could have been avoided. McLaren, with a resurgent lineup led by Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, capitalized on Red Bull's struggles to take the title. For Red Bull, this was a painful reminder that focusing too much on one driver's comfort might come at the expense of the team's overall success. Christian Horner and Helmut Marko, the masterminds behind Red Bull's success, now find themselves under scrutiny. Could the team have secured the Constructors' Championship with a stronger second driver, someone like Sainz? It's a question that will likely haunt them. As we look at the aftermath, it's clear that Perez feels deeply betrayed by Red Bull. After signing a new contract and being reassured of his place within the team, he likely expected the team to support him through his struggles. Instead, he found himself being pushed out at the end of the season, with a younger driver like Liam Lawson set to take his spot. It's a bitter turn of events, especially considering Perez's loyalty to the team. While Perez has largely remained composed in public, insiders suggest that he's been privately frustrated, not just with the Red Bull management but also with Verstappen. Many believe that Verstappen's influence over the team played a role in Perez's downfall, and the timing of Verstappen's public support for Perez during the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix weekend raised some eyebrows. Verstappen praised Perez for being a great teammate, but these words ring hollow when you consider that Perez was already on his way out by then. Was Verstappen genuinely supportive, or was he simply trying to deflect attention from his own role in the situation? With Liam Lawson set to take over Perez's seat for the 2025 season, Red Bull is about to enter a new phase. Lawson, a promising young driver, brings a lot of potential to the team, but his ability to deliver consistent results at the highest level remains unproven. The pressure will be on him to adapt quickly and perform at the same level as Verstappen, a feat no easy task. Red Bull is known for fostering young talent, but transitioning from the junior ranks to a top-tier team can be challenging, and Lawson's future in Formula One is far from certain. Meanwhile, Perez's future in the sport is now up in the air. Will he find a seat with another team, or has his time at the top of Formula One come to an end? His departure from Red Bull marks the end of a chapter, but the door isn't entirely closed for Perez. Teams looking for a seasoned driver might still consider him, but it's unclear where he could land next. This situation raises broader questions about Verstappen's growing influence within Red Bull. Has he become too powerful, shaping team decisions to serve his own interests? Or is this simply the nature of modern Formula One, where star drivers dominate and shape their teams? As Red Bull prepares for the 2025 season, it faces a number of important questions. Will Verstappen's dominance continue without a stronger second driver to challenge him, or will the introduction of Liam Lawson shake things up? The team's performance, especially in the Constructors' Championship, will depend not only on Verstappen's unmatched skill, but also on how well Lawson adapts to the pressure of being a full-time Red Bull driver. The stakes are high, and all eyes will be on the team as they try to bounce back from the shock of losing the Constructors' title. For Perez, the road ahead is uncertain. While he has faced setbacks, he is still a talented driver with plenty to offer. Whether he finds a seat elsewhere in Formula One or decides to pursue other opportunities, it's clear that this controversy has sparked much debate. Fans and pundits alike are left wondering, was Perez's downfall the result of team decisions, or did Verstappen's influence play a larger role in shaping the outcome? One thing is for sure, Formula One will never be short of drama.